if you want to get higher response rates, you got to get in the inbox first. Guess what? I always tell people this. If my abuelita, messages me and or emails me, I'm going to open that email. I don't give a shit what the subject line is,
Hey,
right? Most people that you talk to about cold email today will say cold email sucks. It doesn't work. And I go, really? The subject line is the most important part of the email? No, it's not. It's actually getting the email in the inbox. The second most important part of the email is
If you are struggling with outreach, demand generation, getting meetings with people, come up at the halfway mark, raise your hand, make sure your camera's on, make sure your problem somewhat relates to what we're doing here. And we'll go from there. And again, if you want to join the audience section, producer at rb2b.com. We would love to have you up. 579. All right, let's dive into it. We've been talking about audience count, getting people up here to pitch. So Andy, I mean, inboxes these days completely flooded. This is no secret to anybody. You work with a ton of different businesses. What is the biggest mistake you see when people are trying to cut through that noise? When they first come to you? What are those biggest mistakes they're making?
Man, there's a lot. There's a lot of people do right. There's a lot of people do wrong, and it's kind of like we'll get it. It's like a mix of things, right? And so, like, I think email today too. If we take a step back and look like the big picture, I'm just rolling into it, y'all, so that we can get the most value out of this for everyone. Value per second, right? Time to value per second. That's what we're gonna do. So when you think about it, it's a lot of pieces put together. Now, so what do you have to think about when you're doing these cold email things? And I know we'll get to the sequences and all that first, right? But like there's a lot of steps before that to make this work. Having been early at outreach, I've spent probably way too much time with email. I dream about email and servers and all this stuff. It's pretty sad. But so yeah, I've spent 10 years building email, right? But the thing to think about is there's a lot of things like one, your email infrastructure, right? And so like a lot of people, and this might be like, one-on-one to some people on here, but more times than not, it's not a lot of people haven't got this far yet. So I think one thing that we want to think about is email infrastructure when we get started here. What is email infrastructure? How do you set up so you're sending only 10, 20, 30 emails per domain, right? There's a lot of people that can do this for you. There's a lot of services that you can use that will do this for you. Hypertide is one. So everyone write this down. If you want to get inboxes for instantly smart lead, there's Hypertide, there's Mailreef, there's premium inboxes. Those are the three there. So again, we're trying to get you a lot of value here if you want to set that up. That is the first place you want to start
And
with
just to
any of this.
clarify for
Yeah.
and just to clarify for everybody too, Andy, we're talking about infrastructure for sending emails that look like they're coming directly from your inbox. We're not talking about MailChimp. We're not talking
Yep.
about, HubSpot emails or
No.
support emails. They actually look like singular Gmail, like I'm sending
They're
it
they're
directly to you.
actually gonna they're actually gonna look at emails. Or they're gonna send emails and get in the primary inbox. That's the goal, right? My friend Jesse has a good saying. It's like, "I'll back to the primary," right? That is something that you want to focus on. There's a bunch of people out there that can set it up for you, but it looks like Outlook. Yes, Jacob. It looks like it's coming from your Gmail, your Outlook. The person on the other side. Only the gurus can really tell, or if you're good with this email game, you can tell what it is, but like most people can't. Right. Or like if the domain's kind of weird looking, then sure. Hypertide, Mark, premium inboxes, and Mailreef. Those are kind of the top three right now that you want to take a look at. So that's infrastructure, right? And I say everyone start there. What does that do? That helps you. Mail Dosa, I think, is one. Yeah, two, Unker. But you want to start there because why am I starting here, y'all? And you're probably like, this is boring. This is like IT guy stuff. And it kind of is. Like, it's probably boring as hell. But I'll tell you, if you want to get higher response rates, you got to get in the inbox first. Because if your email, everyone says, oh, the subject line is the most important part of the email. No, it's not. It's actually getting the email in the inbox. That's the most important part of the email. The second most important part of the email is the name it's coming from, not the subject line. So the subject
I
line does
love
it.
that. I
Yeah.
love that you say that because I
Yes.
think that's so true.
It is the name. It is first, it's that it hits the actual inbox. That's the most important. Second is who it's coming from. Because guess what? I always tell people this. If my abuelita, messages me and or emails me, I'm gonna open that email. I don't give a shit what the subject line is.
Hey,
Right?
and for you
Like,
non-Spanish
yeah.
speakers, that means his grandmother.
Thank you for translating. I can do it in 10 other languages if you like. No, I'm kidding, kidding.
And did you know what my secret email sender name is?
What is that?
Adam Robinson. I always send emails as Adam Robinson.
Oh, okay. So we know it's Pete in the background. I was wondering why there was some weird stuff going on there. So subliminal messages in there, dude. So yeah, everyone. So when it comes down to getting high reply rates, the copy is like way downstream, right? The copy is very important and it's one of the most important parts. But first, you have to worry about, okay, is it making it in an inbox? Who's it from? Does this person want to hear from me? And you'll hear Adam harp about, personal brand all day long. You'll hear me harp about it all day long. The reason we do it, and part of the reason you do the personal brand is so that when you send an email to someone, they recognize the name. Okay. And that is what boosts the open rates. Okay. So this is why I'm telling you, it's not like one simple answer. Hey, use this email template and you're good to go. Right. If anyone tells you that, run. That's not it. It's not the email. I'll share with you email templates, but I also want to give context behind it. Right. Should we answer some questions here?
Yeah, someone said, "How do you feel
Yeah.
about company name as the sender?" So we're still in the whole sender. What is this name piece? So we're talking
Yeah.
about having a name from the sender that is recognizable, that increases once it gets to someone's inbox, increases the likelihood that honestly they even read the subject line.
Yeah. Yeah. It's um so if I understand correctly, the question here is, do we use company name or personal name? Right.
Correct.
If you're a cool ass brand like Liquid Death, you can use your company name. If you don't have a cool brand like that yet, use your personal name, right? Like, and this is why brand is going to be one of the long lasting moats, right? Because once again, people are going to want to open emails from brands that they like. So this is, this is a big part of it. But going back to it, people buy from people, just like the LinkedIn feed. Do you want to see company posts? No, you want to see posts from Adam and Sally and Johnny and Lucy, right? You're following people at this point. So yeah, go ahead, Pete. I think there's a couple more questions.
Yeah, someone said, "Do you recommend connecting with CEOs on LinkedIn before sending emails with your personal name?" So is there any primer, any sort of connection primer to that first email going out?
Yeah, there's a couple systems you can implement, y'all, for sure. Adam actually has a system that he does. I think a few people have a system here, but Adam, you want to tell them about your system on how you do that part?
Okay, so this is I work with Alec Paul, and I'm not actually doing this right now, but it was the plan until my LinkedIn blew up so hard. But the plan is get your dream 100 or whatever it is, right? Your target list of people you're reaching out to. Run an outbound connect campaign of 10 or 20 per day. Most people accept connection requests if it's even somewhat relevant, right? And then what the Alec Paul playbook is you start creating content, get better and better at it. If someone accepts your connection request, they will get served your content, and then that warms them up over time. 60 days later, he goes in and asks what's up, and people think that you're a celebrity. That's literally his entire business.
Uh-oh. Are you?
Is that
Are you?
Adam? Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
Oh
Live
no.
show. This is live. We
This
weren't
is
lying.
The only reason I'm doing it is because you do that until enough inbound really quick. Is my internet?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
internet sucks. Yeah. Yeah, your internet sucks. Maybe give it a
I
little
got to
break,
figure
dude.
this out. This is like a disaster. I have Google, dude. I have Google Fiber, and it is like I don't understand. There's something with the Wi-Fi or something. It's crazy. I have 2 megabytes or I have 2 gigabytes up down, and I like can't get this webinar thing to work. So
Tom
I
Lynch
don't know.
says you need
Everyone,
more bandwidth. He'll sell you some. Tom Lynch in the comments.
people are saying you're a robot. You might be an AI. I think that's.
yeah,
I think this is an
is just
elaborate. Anyway,
I gotta
uh,
solve this. I gotta
yeah.
solve this problem this week.
Yeah.
It's like
Get the IT guys, man. Get them
it's
in there.
embarrassing.
so
But
Adam's
yes,
strategy is really that. Yeah. You go.
so to answer your question, sorry, Pete, for cutting you off there. To answer your question, y'all, yes, you want to nurture them, right? Now we can. This is going to be a sick thing you guys should also understand, which is I'm surprised a lot of people don't understand this, and this is why you add people and then post content and then email them, right? And this is high level, so we don't expect you all to figure it out now. Feel free to DM me on LinkedIn if you need more help or anything. But when you think about, there's this thing called the large market formula, right? What is the large market formula? Well, it is that pyramid you've probably seen before, and it tells you how many people are ready to buy your product probably at one time, right? What percentage of people do you think are ready to buy your product at any given moment? What percentage? Three. Mark knows the answer. Mark, yeah, there you go. 3 to 5. Exactly. I thought I was all right. You guys all know this. You were on
They
the
all
last
saw that
episode six
post.
months ago.
Dang it.
Yeah, they all saw my post. So there we go. Yes, yeah, 3 to 5%, somewhere around there, y'all. So when you think about it, what game are we playing? We're playing the nurture game, right? Like whoever nurtures the best wins the best. You're playing the nurture game over and over and over again. So to answer your question, create a system where you can connect with these people. Some may connect, some may not. Um, but that's definitely going to help, visibility wise, recognition of the name when you do that, right? And to add fuel on the fire, what do? You post content with insights from your industry. Not here's my lunch today, not here's, a picture of my cat, even though was it Abdul who had his cat, Abdel had his cat, recently or whatever, stuff like that. So that's what I would say and recommend. We're getting a little bit away from email, but just to kind of give you guys an
But
idea
we're
where
good.
it all ties in, right, from that standpoint.
So, okay. So we've
Nothing,
got
Ali. Love cats. Love cats.
we've got kind of the infrastructure. You basically like for a while, I think all of us were running these super high touch point, like 20 touch point cadences with all these different, nurturing and whatever, and follow ups and circling back and all this other nonsense. Um, why do you believe that's so ineffective? Is it just the sheer volume and like repetition of those types of language that's just creating white noise? Is there something else under the surface that you see? Why does literally everybody suck at this?
Um, so if we go back, and I was part of the one that helped create the problem, actually. So my apologies to everyone. But
That's
so
fair.
I'm gonna blame myself. Sorry, I helped create the problem that now I'm telling you how to solve. But um, the problem is like early in the sales engagement days, outreach days before there was a million sales engagement and the other ones plowed on. What happened is you could just literally throw a bunch of touch points into a sequence and guess and be like, I know that if I email and get them with 15 touch points, they're going to eventually book a meeting with me. We had it down to a science. Literally, we were plugging in SDRs because we were like, we know that if they sequence 100 people a day, we're going to get 4 meetings. It was like down to a science, right? It was crazy. It was just a money printer. So what happened is
That's the predictable revenue
that's
dream
the
right there.
predictable revenue model. But it's like annoy
Just
people enough and they'll freaking do it. Well, guess what? What happens when everyone starts to do that same thing, right? And everyone catches on and now every business is doing that. What happens? Well, people get inundated and they're like, "Well, there's too much coming at me. What do I make happen?" Right? And so I think what we're getting is essentially we're still in that mindset, right? And Adam talks about this with predictable revenue, but we're still in that mindset, and probably a lot of sales leaders that are out there today, which I was one of these people. That's how we learned originally, right? And that's what we're like, okay, that's what we know how to do. And what do? We go in and we probably are like, well, we know we do what's the easiest and what we've done before, right? And that's just human nature. So that could probably be the case, right? And you're seeing a lot of that right now, and we can go into what I think the solution is, or what has been the solution for me, a bunch of my customers and my friends and people and all that. But that's what I say where we're at with this stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to dive into that in just a second. Just that whole,
Okay.
actually, this is probably a good time to let's answer a couple questions.
Okay.
We're going to bring up somebody for our Unfuck My Startup section. And then I want to do your whole strategy in full, all three steps on the second half of the show. I think instead of introducing step one and then, let's do it
Yes.
that way.
Okay.
Um, all right. So to start, if anybody is struggling to connect with their ICP, their audience on email or just any outreach, really any, I guess outreach strategy, raise your hand. We'll bring you up. We'll have you tell us about your problem and your business for 2 minutes, and then we'll spend 3 minutes providing you feedback from Andy and the panelists here. So if you are interested, put up some hands. Once we call you up to, if you could put your URL into the chat, that would be great. So John, we're going to have our producer, John, select one of these folks, bring them up. The questions are ripping.
We got 4 hands. Let's get up to 10 hands, and then we'll randomly pick one. So it's 10% shot that you join the Unfuck My Startup segment. All right, 2, 4, 6. Need 3 more hands, y'all. 3 more hands.
So what's your opinion on warming up inboxes? Hearing mixed things. I hear you have to. Andy?
Yeah, for sure. Warm them up. We won't get into technicalities, but yeah, you want to do that for the Google algorithms and the Outlook. Yeah, definitely warm them up. 2 weeks minimum, y'all. 100%. Whoever tells you don't do that, there's no harm in doing it. So definitely warm them up. Yes.
Even some of that reputation protection, sending those seed emails while the thing's active too can help. At some point, all these email addresses will get flagged. It's just you're trying to play the longevity game here, right? They all die.
Yeah.
You just want them to live a long time.
And Grant has a good question. What does warming up an inbox mean? Because I'm sure other people have this question. So, y'all, when you're buying, like, this is how the system works today, right? Previously, you would have Andy@distribute.so, right, as your email. And guess what? You send 1,000 emails to people from that one email, right? Now, what did we learn? Well, that's going to probably burn your domain and your email. And if you get marked as spam so many times, Google is going to be like, heck no, now you're not landing in anyone's inbox, right? So now what people are doing is they're buying multiple domains. So distribute.com, distribute.io, cool, distribute.tech, distribute, whatever. And then you're attaching emails to that domain. So when you're sending from these emails, what's happening is that if one gets flagged as spam, it doesn't affect the whole pool, right? So it's like, if someone pees in the pool, it like kind of sucks for everyone. Like, don't pee in the pool, y'all. Well, guess what? Like, some of your emails are going to pee in the pool and you want to get rid of them, right? That's the same concept. All right. So you want to get rid of that. That's what warming up means. It's like, essentially, some of these email providers now, Instantly, Smart Lead, shout out to Smart Lead and Instantly, great products. But what they do is they will like send the emails like to emails that they own to make them look real, right? So is this a little hacky? Yeah, it's a little hacky, just to be honest with y'all. But this is the way you warm them up to make sure that you hit the primary inbox, right? So that is how I would describe that. That is why it works. In each inbox that you're sending from, Andy@distribute.so is only sending 30 a day, right? So you're minimizing sending them 1,000 per day and minimizing the risk. It's risk mitigation on a domain, basically, right? And so you're having a bunch of domains go out that you don't care about. It's not your main domain. All right. So highly, highly, highly recommend that. If you're a B2B business, you're not doing that today, hit me up. I can help you out and find the right people, or hit up Adam or whatever, but definitely do that.
Yeah. Definitely do that.
Yes.
Not a mixed, no mixed opinions over here. It's a must.
Well, and what's cool is if you have our B2B set up, what's awesome is what I can do is get people who visit my website and then integrated with these email products. So if Sally, who's an ICP, hits my inbox or my website, she automatically gets put into one of these sequences, right? That I have an Instantly that goes through that one of those email domains as well. So these products also integrate well with our B2B and others.
There we go. I'm back. I was.
Dude,
we got high winds.
What is up with the internet these days?
Yeah,
dude, we got it. That's our next business, guys. The 3 of us, new internet. We're calling it new internet.
I have an idea.
We're gonna launch.
Compete with Elon for Starlink.
Dude, we should send satellites to the sky and have them go around the Earth so that everyone can have internet.
Yeah. Oh, Ashland, so good. Unfuck my internet. Yes, that's
no way, man. We're gonna dig under the earth. We're gonna put it in the center, and then it'll stream outwards.
Yeah.
Elon's not thinking
so
like this.
Good.
All right, we are gonna bring up. Who are we bringing up? I think we already brought somebody up. Leslie. Hello, Leslie.
What's up, Leslie?
What's up? How's it going?
Great.
Good.
All right. So the quick and dirty. What?
Please, yeah. Let's hear about your business for a couple of minutes. We have pando.com. I'm gonna keep so it doesn't get buried. I'll keep pasting it in the thing. I'm
Sure.
actually going to share my screen too. That's usually a good way to show folks what you're working on. But
Perfect.
let's
So
hear about what you're working on first. Thank you.
perfect. So I'm not the founder, but I work very closely with our founder. We've been around for about 4 years. Basically, we are democratizing career progression, giving HR leaders the ability to get real-time understanding of performance. And everybody pretty much agrees that annual reviews are very painful and not very fun. There I am. And so this is ultimately a platform that helps with the continuous progression, giving, again, leaders the ability to get real-time understanding of performance and drive high-performing teams.
Okay. And what is your outreach issue? Like, what are you struggling with right now?
Sure. So I was brought on full time in September. I've sent well over 6,000 emails. Our founder is incredibly influential. She is a thought leader. She gets great response. I don't get great response. So I find that this is particularly applicable to me, what we will be learning today. But I do everything from, sales navigator and outreach. I send emails directly. We have a massive database. I come from many, many years of sales. So I've done, the sales enablement tools. I find everything you're talking about is just very, very relatable. I also do, very thoughtful individual notes, try to keep it short. We work primarily with executives.
Okay.
I know exactly
I
what I
call
would.
people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cold calling too, Leslie.
Texting,
That's
cold
hustling.
calling, texting.
That's hustling. I love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
Uh, do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
Adam, you
you
go
want to
first.
go first?
I
Go ahead.
would just try to pretend you're the CEO and scale that out as big as possible. You just literally be her with your outreach and just grow it as big as you can without breaking it.
Yeah.
That's
the
easy.
response rate.
Is this the easiest?
Yeah. The response rate tells you everything you need to know.
Okay.
Just do more of what works, right? Like people ask me all the time, like, what's how do I like grow my product with distribution? And my answer is always try a bunch of stuff. Once you find the thing that works, do more of that thing, right? Like just keep trying stuff. And we kind of get shiny object syndrome as is like, when you're doing all this and then you forget like, oh, that's one thing that worked, right? And like we're like, okay, well now let's find the next thing. No, don't go and find the next thing once you find something that works. Double down on that thing that works, right? And a lot of people make this mistake, right? Of being like, oh, okay, that worked. Let me try it for a week and then like give up on it now because now we need to find the next thing that works. No, just make that better and better and better and better. Like it's like cold email, right? Most people that you talk to about cold email today will say cold email sucks, it doesn't work. And I go, really? I go, have you tried ads on Facebook? Good luck. I go, imagine you can hit your exact target market, anyone you want, and you can literally get in their inbox whenever you want and tell them exactly what you want and with no restrictions, right? Hopefully you're not doing crazy stuff out there and sending crazy stuff, but you know what I mean? It's insane what you can do and it works. You just got to figure out the puzzle pieces. So like, there's always going to be one channel. If there's one thing that works, double down on it. Don't think you have to do 50 different things well. Most companies, when they scale it, ask Adam. What helped him get to what do you at now? A gajillion ARR, Adam? Something like that?
20,
20,
25.
20 he's at 100 billion
Yeah.
gajillion, right? So he's at 100 billion gajillion ARR, and so he did one thing to get there with our B2B specifically, which is his personal brand, his LinkedIn. He saw it was working. He freaking doubled down.
Hey, by the
Any
way,
of these,
and you're
yeah.
participating in that right now.
Yes, exactly. And I'm part of the I'm part of the matrix here that he's
Yeah,
got going on. Yeah.
exactly. This is the new way, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Part of my startup is this long game brand play we're doing.
And
I don't
there's
know.
also a lot of people like we have, behind Adam's brand. I mean, John Ely's our video producer. He's here in the background. I help with a lot of brand stuff. We have some consultants. So we're really scaling out like behind that presence and that brand affinity that Adam has, because he doesn't have the time to sit there, answer every DM on LinkedIn, send out all these emails, reach out to people. So we do have to sort of creatively scale it amongst a larger group of people, but it's all about leveraging what's already built. Because as I said before, if I send emails for my name, just way less people are going to open them. And, it's sad, but that's reality.
I'll
So
open
I
your
pretend to be
emails,
Adam.
Pete. Don't worry.
Thank
I'll
got
send
you,
my
man.
emails too, please.
Yeah, I got you too, Leslie. Don't worry. If you guys ever need help, let me know. I'll open them just to give you guys a boost, you know.
And
Don't
just
worry.
just to clarify, so premium inboxes, hypertide, mill reef, I'm her. Is that correct?
Yep, you're her. You are what's your CEO's name?
Barbara,
Barbara. Okay, so you're Barbara
the
at
badass.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're Barbara the badass at yourdomain.com. You're Barb at thedomain.com. You put it into Claude or GPT and just be like, give me a bunch of like different name combinations I could do. But you are always Barbara, some version of that.
Always.
Always. Always. And then get Barbara posting content on LinkedIn too.
She does.
Okay, good. There you
Yeah.
go. Boom,
Sweet.
even better. Yeah.
Even
Thank
better.
you.
Leslie, thank you for coming
Leslie,
up.
thank you. We're gonna send you a swag box.
Awesome. Thank you.
Pete will follow up afterwards.
All right. All right. If you would like to be audience, if you would like to be called up during next week's show, email producer at rb2b.com. I just dropped it in. And let's keep on going, Andy. So take away from that, leverage your CEO. If you have a public figure or niche public figure on your team, leverage the absolute heck out of their name. That is a giant lesson in the first half here, but let's get into it. So Andy, right before that section, we were talking about these, multi-touch points, super sophisticated sequences, cutting through the noise. You have sort of a like 3-step email system that you talk about. I saw you post about it just a couple days ago. Can you talk about that? Let's start first with this first email that's designed to it's the pattern interrupt. It's designed to break through the noise and actually stop someone from scrolling or marking your email as read. Can you tell us the theory behind that? Like, how do you craft a
100%.
pattern interrupt that works? Let's start there.
Yeah. So pattern interrupt. How do you, and where did this come from? So let's talk about the why behind it so everyone kind of gets it. Because everyone hopefully understands what a pattern interrupt is. It's something that's different, right? Something that's different that people aren't used to getting. And that's a scary thing to do. Yeah. Disruption, right? Because what do people fear? People fear like, oh, it's not going to look as professional. It's different from what most people send. Y'all, that's a good thing. Like you want it to look way different from anyone else because you want it to stand out. Now that again, we're kind of getting after the subject line, even the subject line, I like to make it look like it's coming from a friend, but when it comes to the idea behind the initial email, which the initial email, by the way, y'all, is the most important email, right? In a sequence, of course, right? And so when you're thinking about it, you want a pattern interrupt. What's a pattern interrupt? You know how I find good pattern interrupts? This is going to be a tip that hopefully you all take and you'll never forget it. Is I literally look at when I'm scrolling Instagram or anything, I look at ads that stop me and I screenshot those and I steal copy from those ads, right? Obviously for my product. Because these ads are being tested thousands of times and you can actually see how many likes they get, what's working, what stopped me, right? And this is going into the bigger picture that everyone needs to realize. Right. Well, great artist, good artist copy, great artist steal, right? So you're kind of
Feel
taking
like
the
an
concept.
artist.
Yeah, still like an artist, right? Don't copy the ads exactly and plagiarize. It probably won't work because your product's probably different too. But you get the idea. The concept is there. And so the big picture here and why I have a bunch of templates and ideas, but the main idea that everyone should understand is that the inbox now is like a series of ads in someone's inbox, right? It's like an ad network. It's literally a series of ads, and what's going to win is the things that stand out, right? The things that resonate. So when you're looking at this, what's the next best place to look at? I go look at actual ads that are in the feed. What are people clicking on? What are they liking? What does the offer look like? Right? It could be the visual and the caption. Don't sleep on the caption as well, right? But a lot of these ads will sometimes have just plain text, right? They'll just say like, "Hey, done for you offer, cold email setup, book now," right? Like all that, and then look at their caption and what they said in the caption. And so my wife makes fun of me because she's like, "How come all of your photos on your phone are screenshots of ads?" And I'm like, "Because that's my swipe file." Like, I'm a nerd. Like I just fucking look at ads all day. Like I'm probably the one funding like all these companies, you know, or like or actually making them go bankrupt because I'm clicking on all their ads and not actually buying anything. But yeah, so that, and you can go do this. So everyone go look up Facebook ads, like the Facebook ads library. So just go look that up. Go look at your competitors and go see what they're running. Like the answers are kind of there, y'all. Like what's messaging that you can leverage for that, right? And so yes, Ryan, Facebook ads library is goated. You can see what people are putting up as ads, and then here's the next trip on Facebook ads library, right? Is go look at which ads of that company have been running for more than a month. Because if they've been running them for more than a month, that ad is probably working, right? That ad is working. That means that messaging is working. That means the photo is working. Because no one, unless they're really dumb and like throwing away money, you are not gonna keep an ad running if it's not producing money for you,
And you know
right?
pretty
Like,
quickly. If you're running ads, you know like fairly quickly if
yes.
something's garbage, right?
Yes, it's literally like telling you what's working. So that's the go to Facebook ads library, look at the copy, y'all. Look at what they've been running for more than a month. And of course, you're gonna have to tweak it for your product, but that's copy that probably works, right? And of course, you want it to be someone in your niche, or you know, in your area of expertise. Because something that's being sold as like a fitness product might not work for, you know, you selling an email setup thing. So just kind of FYI, obvious. That's obvious, but I want to make sure that's known. Yeah.
Andy, do you have one of the like in your library on your do you have something you could share really quickly as a good example of this, even if you like have to hold it up to the camera?
Dude, yeah, I have so many ads on I wasn't joking, dude. I have
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Let's
I
I want to see like
literally
a really
have
recent one.
screen. Let me make sure there's nothing naughty in here. No, just kidding. I don't do anything naughty on my phone. But, yeah, dude, like here's some, oh, I have actually have one. Can you guys see this? I have one,
Yeah,
literally
blow
a
it. Can you
whole
blow it up?
folder. This one's from Fixer. I like that one. Um, the next one is, oh, this one's from Icon. I like that one. So, dude, it's just a whole folder of them. Every day when I'm scrolling, if it stops me, I'm like, oh, that stopped me for a reason. Screenshot, boom, done.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
post those on LinkedIn right after this show. I'm gonna have you send those to me, and then I'm gonna
Okay.
post
Yeah,
them
yeah,
for
yeah.
people. Okay,
100%, 100%.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. And then, yeah, you see those and then you're like, holy crap. And then what you do is you screenshot them, not to use that exact ad, but to remember who the account is, to then go to their ad library and then see which ones they've been running for a while. There you go. All right.
Keith just hit us with the at what point does a pattern interrupt become the pattern?
Bro.
That's a great
After
Never.
this meeting,
Never.
after,
No, I mean, you should see this RB2B rebrand I'm doing. There's always the opposite of what the norm is.
yeah. And that's a great point. Like, even with branding and everything, guys, this isn't just cold email, but everyone here knows Gong, right? That's a partner of a distributes. You know, we integrate with Gong, and Udi from Gong over there is great, and he's the CMO now, president or something. But he told me something once that always stuck with me, which was it's it's what was the quote? It's better to be different than to be better.
I
Right?
love
Yeah,
that quote. I
Yeah.
and
love
that's
say that.
It's
another.
better to be
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Being different is better than being better. That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Being
That's
different
more
is,
elegant. I
yeah.
usually say, which takes that doesn't take as long to think about. I always say it's better to be different and worse than the same and better.
Yeah,
Think about that.
exactly. Yeah. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
If you're the same but better, you're competing for deals. If you're
Yep.
different but worse, people are self-selecting into your feature set because it's different. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
And literally a master class in this, which everyone knows, is liquid death. Y'all, they're selling water. It's water. You get it for free at your house under the sink, right? People are buying it because it's different. It's water. It's the world's number one commodity. Like you're buying it because it's different, and so that is just obviously an anomaly. But like the number one masterclass in that concept, right? Is it's freaking water. So just remember that.
So
Yeah.
that's sort of our pattern interrupt is just doing the running in the opposite direction, even if it's worse, kind of. But
Even if it's
just
worse. Yeah.
By the way,
100%.
did anybody click on my Webflow link up there? This rebrand is done by No Boring Design. It's bananas.
Let's see. Preview. I'm looking for it. Post it again, dude. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if I
Oh,
see
I
it.
got it here.
You need the
Oh,
quote
I
one more
got it. I
time?
got it.
Hold
I
on.
got it. I found it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's Robot Adam.
It's Robot Adam in just this stark green that like we even had trouble getting printed on t-shirts because they're like, this is too bright green.
That's good. They're like that. There you go. That's a good signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's using. There you go. There's being
By the
different.
way, and I gotta shout out No Boring Design again because I think it's like really an incredibly consistent job that they did delivering that pop. It's not
Yeah,
easy to
this
do,
is cool.
you know?
This is super cool. This is super cool. That's like some people I get haters in my DMs because I wouldn't call them haters, but some people look at the distribute site and it has Spanish on it, like Spanglish, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, you forgot to translate some stuff." And I'm like, no, I didn't." No, it's supposed to be in Spanish. Like, uh, sorry. But yeah, so anyways, we got a bunch of donkeys everywhere. People were like, why do you like donkeys? Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But um,
We
yes,
do have to get we do have to steal your swag guy too for Unfuck My Startup merch. That is that looks like some good like streetwear, but it's actually your company. It's
that's
just
right,
incredible.
baby. That's
Yeah,
right.
Just
Yeah,
that,
incredible.
we've got my designer is amazing. So she's
yeah, that's what we do.
yeah, that's you got to be different.
Design
And I'm like,
ridiculous things.
swag.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I know we're getting off topic here, but it's like I've never like with me, I was like, if we're gonna have company swag at all, it's gonna be something I would actually want to wear. And most things company swag I've ever had, I wouldn't want to wear it. So,
Fair enough.
besides RB2B now, because that swag is lit, right?
Dude, that's why that hoodie is lit. Problem is, it's
Yeah,
about to be 100 degrees and it's going to be in the fucking, it's going to
yeah,
be
in
in the
Austin,
closet for.
yeah. Good luck wearing it. Yeah, exactly. Maybe for the sauna.
All right, let's hop
Cool.
into this second part, this perspective shift. So we interrupted the pattern. We finally got their attention. One thing I just want to highlight from that section too, you said like, don't talk to them like they're a prospect. I always say, try to like, how would you talk to your neighbor? If I was sending my neighbor an email, I wouldn't be like, hey Simon, I hope this reaches you well. I'm emailing you in regards to
Yeah,
my garbage cans, which were left outside over the weekend. Like, it'd be like, hey man, I left my garbage cans outside. Can you put them in?
yeah,
It's that other type of language that doesn't immediately scream, I am selling you or about to. Okay.
yeah.
So the perspective shift. Can you take us through that second step of this system?
Yes. Okay. This is a great one. So you want to do the pattern interrupt, right? That you're basically trying to do you're three strikes and you're out. You're trying three strikes here, right? Of like, what are you going to give them that it hopefully will change their mind, right? Or be like, oh, this is different. So we did the pattern interrupt, something that's different. They've never seen it before. Interesting. The perspective shift. Okay. So the perspective shift this is all insight based, right? What do people want when they go on Twitter, when they go on LinkedIn, when they go on anything? What they want to do is they want an insight, right? And they want an edge. So the perspective shift here is it's basically a before after bridge. And what I mean by that is, hey, before you used to think this, but now actually here's a little bit of evidence of why that's wrong and why you should think this, right? And has anyone read the Challenger sale? They're the Challenger sale. It's basically that same concept. You're challenging what they already believe. Now, some people are going to look at you and they're going to be like, screw you, you're so wrong. And I get so many responses like that. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Right? Move on. You'll get so many of that. But what you're trying to do is make them learn something new. When someone says educate someone, it's changing their perspective, giving them something new that they've never heard before. Right? So again, there's some similarity to the pattern interrupt, but you're helping them go from A to Z in a different way, right? So I probably told all y'all, you thought I was going to come on this call and be like, here's the top templates that you should use, and these templates are magic bullets. No, none of the templates are magic bullets. You got to start with infrastructure, which you probably were like, oh, I didn't know that he was going to become an IT nerd for 10 minutes, right? So that is essentially, that's the difference. I want you to have a perspective shift that it's not just about the copy and the email, it's about the setup before, you even get to that part. All
And
right.
we have some questions in here about like, what are examples of a perspective shift or a pattern interrupt? How do you find those things? Is there a system you go through? I mean, I personally will just I'll take 10 examples of the what's common in the room and just observe that and try to draw commonalities and then just run as fast as I can in the opposite direction. But
Yeah.
how do you approach that?
Yeah. So we'll do the honestly, I use AI to help with this. I don't just do it off the top of my head, y'all. Like I say, here's my product with AI. I probably have a saved prompt everywhere I can give someone. Um, but what's a pattern interrupt I could do here that's different? I use Perplexity for this because it does live search on the web. I think Grok does it now too, a few others. But I'll use that and I'll kind of research it before and say, what's a pattern up here that's different? What's a perspective shift, right? What does that look like? And so that is essentially how I'll research it. So to give you an idea of a pattern interrupt, you made something great, Pete. It's like come up with the first 10 things that come to mind and then say, I'm not using any of those, right? The perspective shift. What's that? This is a hot take, is basically what it is, right? The perspective shift is a hot take. For us, like at Distribute, I'll give you an example. One of our emails was like, hey, you're so worried about top of funnel. Top of funnel is important, but you know what's more important is middle of funnel. Let me show you some metrics on why. And actually, most people are so like obsessed with top of funnel that if they actually just increase their conversion on mid funnel a few percentage points, it is actually worth about 10x more. Your efficiency is just way better there, right? The efficiency in the mid funnel and getting better there is way more than trying to go get 1,000 more leads. So once you look at the number, that's a perspective shift. I'm sure no one here knew that, right? And so my job is to try and educate people on that, right? And show them like, hey, actually, you think new leads is going to solve your problem? It's not. It's actually giving more love and being more organized and actually winning more deals in the middle funnel, of your process. So, and I've seen this 1,000 times over, y'all. This is, there's once you do the numbers, it's very clear. It's a lot harder to get the number of leads you need to get a deal than it is to actually just improve your conversion rate by a few points, right? So, anyways, well, we can go through the math later, but perspective shift,
And
right?
that's something too that's used by, I mean, you and Adam and a ton of
Yeah.
others on LinkedIn too. It's like that first sentence. I use Adam, a post that Adam had made from earlier this quarter as an example. It was in December we shut off all of our demand generation channels. We saved 100K a month. Here's why in January we grew X% and it was our
Yeah.
best month ever. It's like, well, how are those? I have to see how both of those things are true you
Yeah.
know
Yep.
and that's it's that like intrigue that I see from you guys and other folks. um
Yeah. It,
so let's wrap this up. Let's talk about like kind of bridging the gap between perspective shift. Like the third step here is this value bridge. So you've gotten their attention. You've gotten them to look all the way into kind of your solution based on offering this sort of contrarian type of viewpoint that
yeah.
makes them want to understand more of that story and how it's true. So, where does offering value come into this third step here?
Yeah. So in those first two emails, and I have multiple formulas, y'all. This isn't the one that I'd like do every time. This is a whole nother thing is you have to be constantly testing cold emails, right? We can do a whole nother session on my testing process, right? But this is one formula out of like 20 that I have. So again, early outreach, I was forced to learn all this stuff because I had to get people meetings, right? And that was like our goal. So I had to like get all this together. But the next thing that we'll talk about is the value bridge. It isn't until that third email that we're actually pitching our product. We don't pitch our product till the third email, right? Insight, boom. Then you say basically, hey, if you like that, we can actually help you with your middle funnel process by doing boom, boom, boom. The third one is going to be more of your typical email that relates back to your email one and two. So the third email here is going to sound more like the original email, or I'm sorry, the original emails that most people do, right? For their sales process. So we've essentially flipped this on its head. We've said that email doesn't come until you've actually provided an insight and a pattern interrupt, right? Or a hot take that's changed their perspective. Then at that point, yeah, jab, jab, right hook. There you go, Mark. That's a good way to put it. I haven't read that, but I heard it's a good book. But that is essentially what we do. That third email is nothing special. The value bridge is essentially you now tying back. You're going for the ask. And the ask, by the way, y'all, is not, can I get 30 minutes? The ask is a dynamic lead magnet. What's a dynamic lead magnet? That is something that you can create for them. I usually create, it's very meta, but for us, it's distribute deal rooms, right? So what we do is, hey, by the way, if you believe in these things and you want to actually test this out and improve your middle of funnel processes, let me know and I'll make you like a deal room to show you what this would look like for you selling to this company who, X company. And they'll go, and I go reply sure, just like my LinkedIn content or, the lead magnets on LinkedIn. And it works also on email, right? And so, Ziad, no, it's not a free trial. It's an example of what a deal room. I sell deal rooms, right? Distributor deal rooms or follow up, AI follow up pages. So when I give them an example of it and say, this is what it would look like for you. Wouldn't it be cool if you had this too? And then we provide them with that. And then if they want to meet with you, they will tell you. That's my rule. That let them come to you, right? And it also is a forcing function for you to make great stuff, right? You want them to come to you. If they're not coming to you, then there's a problem. It's either your offer or your product isn't something they want, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You want the shit to fly off the shelves.
It,
You just want
yes,
them
for
to be
lack of a
like
better term, yes.
lining up, being like, how do I get the thing that you're even talking about before you
Yes.
even say that? So someone had asked too, is there a call to action in emails 1 or 2? Or is it just an email 3 where you're giving them something to do?
Just email three. Just email three. Yeah.
Are
Just
they
email three.
threaded together or is it
They're
just,
all
it's
threaded, same email thread.
okay.
One, two, three.
Okay.
Boom. One, two, three. That's it. And only in that one do you do it, right? But again, your first email and your second email has to be something interesting that they didn't know, so they don't mark you as spam, right? Pattern interrupt, hot take, they may not. And if they don't like your hot take, you're gonna get marked as spam regardless. You guys, just sorry, that's just what people do. But people that want an edge and are willing to learn, like if I get something interesting, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what this guy's gonna send me next, right? Most sales leaders are thinking like that because we want to see how they're approaching it. All right. And those are your buyers. And if it is interesting, I say, hell yeah, like send me more info. No skin off my back for you sending me a sample, right? Like I don't have to
That's
meet with you. Once you ask me to meet with you, I'm like, oh man, this sounds like a lot of work, right? Like,
even the
sorry.
15 minutes nowadays. Everyone's asking
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
15.
exactly. It's
Oh,
just not gonna work.
yeah.
So it's just tough. But yeah, that's kind of the way I would think about it, y'all. And again, there's no silver bullet. I have a bunch of templates that I gave out on LinkedIn. But what I like to say is there's more to it than that. Those are helpful for sure, but I hope everyone here just kind of understands that there's, infrastructure, getting your name out there, sending from your founder if you can. Like, even if you're a big company with 1,000 employees, get your founder active and send emails from them. Why not? Test it out. So yeah.
Heck yeah. Last question here. Well, we got two. I'm going to do two. Someone said, Ishan said gaps between emails. What is your time delay between 1, 2, and 3?
Um, Honestly, the default is like 2 days between. I just leave it at
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like some scenarios, edge cases where I'll do like one, but mostly just two. Just two. Yeah, nothing crazy. And then personalization. People are gonna hate me for saying this, but personalization is overrated at this point in time. Honestly, when I see personalization, I know it's AI and it's fake. It honestly rubs me more wrong than it does just an automated email that's good. Right?
I don't know why that's true, but when I get an email, it's like, "Hey Pete, I saw you went to
Yeah.
Penn State. My friend said the on-campus
Yeah.
spring whatever is a hoot." I'm like, no one said that. No one's ever said
Yeah.
that.
So what you can do is if you look at, again, I'm going to go back to the ad example, and I know we have to drop here, but if you look at ads, how many ads are personalized exactly for you? None. Guess what? They get people to buy. None are personalized. Sure, they're targeted towards you as like an ICP in general, but they're not like, hey, Andrew, you're looking at this ad now. Like, click here. Like, it's not. And so if this is a whole nother theory, but it needs to evoke an emotion. Putting all this together, this formula, what does it do? It evokes an emotion. Holy shit, I didn't know that. Holy shit, I should learn more about that. Oh my God, that's crazy. Right? It has
No
to
one's going
evoke
to take a
that.
meeting because they're from your hometown. It's just not
Yeah,
going to
no, no, no.
happen.
It
They're
has to
going to
evoke
do it
like,
because
yeah.
it's value.
And guess what? You
Yeah.
don't need to personalize to do that. Like, sorry, you just don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, in great copywriting is all about transferring the emotion from yourself
yeah.
to the reader. That is
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
That is it. And there's a whole study of how to do that. But man, if you can do that, you win.
Yeah. And Adam is great. What's some Adam's emotion on LinkedIn posts? Can anyone describe that in the chat? What do you think is that? What
Oh my
emotion
God.
does he evoke with his LinkedIn post?
Like, anger.
Energy.
Energy. Yeah. Let's see. What else? What else?
Oh my God.
Drama. Yeah. So this is
Insight,
good.
excitement. I mean, it's the whole wheel. By the way, if you want to like think about emotions when you're writing, you can just type in wheel of emotion into Google and it's every emotion
Yeah. Yeah.
that you can like
Y'all,
try to hit, and you can use even describing the emotion helps transfer the emotion.
yeah. And put this in your prompts like, hey, this email needs to evoke an emotion, right? Like, just literally say that and say what emotion you want to evoke. But like, you want to invoke an emotion, whether it's excited or whatever, it needs to evoke that. Okay. My therapist wife pulls that wheel out. Oh, that's funny. Ryan, we feel for you, man. um,
Well, guys, Andy,
yeah.
first of all, killer show. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining. You brought the masses. You gave insights. Someone even dropped in. I don't know where it was, but to scroll up, like this was so much better than templates. I agree. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to fill out that template with something interesting, and no one can do that for you. That's
Somebody asked for the attendee count. We were up to 595. I bet you we were like 650 to 700 unique based upon that. We're up to 595 max concurrent. That's a lot. Everybody wants to know
Yes.
about sales. Everybody wants to know about emails. We will learn from the attendance and we will bring more of that content.
Let's go. I
Okay.
hope everyone got a ton of value. And the value to time ratio was huge here. So that's what I hope. So yeah, everyone, thank you. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Or if you're in Austin, let us know. We'll go wake surfing. If Adam allows it, it's Adam's boat
Hell
number.
yeah. We'll go wake
Yeah.
surfing. Whoever's in
Pile
Austin.
in.
Yeah. Let's
Hey,
go.
next week we got Sam Parr. He's the founder of Hampton. He runs a big podcast, talks to some of the most successful founders. We're going to talk to him next week about building wealth from a small business, how he started his media.
Sam Parr from My First Million, baby.
Yeah, man. Dude,
And then
that's
I'm gonna
a good-
try to get
that's-
on. I'm gonna try to get on My First Million, and he's gonna tell me I'm not famous enough. Watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him on the spot.
I'm like-
I literally asked Sean Puri 2 years ago. I'm like, bro, like, can I get on? He's like, well, I'll ask my producer, but my producer always says you're not famous enough if you don't have hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers. So,
Oh wow. And it has to be Twitter. It has to be
yeah, I don't
Twitter.
know. I don't know.
Oh my
We'll
God,
see.
that's interesting. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, well, he's a good. I feel like small fish coming on this show now, man. Look at that.
Bro,
We're
Sam
trying to
Parr is
stair
big.
step. We're trying to stair step. So we got
Yeah.
Andy, big
Yeah.
face, and then we're just trying to.
Yeah. Look at that. Sam Parr's a legend. He's a good guy. I think he's in Austin too, Adam. You guys.
He moved to Westport, Connecticut. He didn't like it. He lived in the wrong neighborhood. He moved to East Austin. It's not. He should have moved to like, you know what I mean, Clarksville, where you are, something like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's
Yeah.
like, he's like settling down. I think if you're running around and single, East Austin's great, but like if you're settled, like it's not.
Yeah, that's not the place. Not the place. Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta hop for a call,
All right,
guys.
me
Thank
too.
you so much. Bye,
Holler.
everyone.
Thanks,
Super
Andy.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
See you
everyone.
next week.
How do you create the quickest awareness?
If you look at other people's jobs and lives, these like very public figures, their life seems exhausting to me. Always on the road, speaking, whatever. The reason companies fail is because people